Good afternoon, friends. This is Ash here, WAT News, with some news and election updates. It is January the 7th, 2021. And I wanted to update my last post because after I posted this, it turns out now that the company XR Vision denies Washington Times report that they identified Antifa at the Capitol. The Washington Times reported yesterday that XR Vision reported that they confirmed Antifa was in the Capitol yesterday. However, XR Vision claims this is not true. They never spoke with a military officer and they never confirmed individuals in the Capitol were Antifa members. Yesterday it was all over the news that XR Vision claimed that there were members of Antifa in the Capitol. This was first reported at the Washington Times. And this is from the 7th. Trump supporters say that Antifa members disguised as one of them infiltrated the protesters. A retired military officer told the Washington Times. So we have to see if this is true or not. One has a tattoo, like we said, that indicates he is a Stalinist sympathizer. So were they there? Oh, here we got some more stuff. Hang on a second. XR Vision provided to us information that two members in the Capitol who appeared to be alluded to in the above Times report as Antifa members are not Antifa, but are rather tied to the skinheads and the National Socialist movement. So here's Jason Tankersley, Matthew Heimbach, Steve Smith, the Band of Total Annihilation, Jake Angeli. There's Tankersley. He's got this hammer and sickle on his hand. And there's Jake Angeli, an Arizona-based actor, voiceover artist, and singer. So what's going on here, right? Who are these people? This guy seems to be this person here. So they're starting to identify them now. This says agent. Okay. This begs many questions. How did these people get in the Capitol building? Why were they there? Were they paid for being there? Were they there to tie the Trump administration to the skinheads? Why did they take their picture when in the Capitol? Another individual in the pictures is an Arizona actor and singer. He has been seen at BLM events carrying a QAnon poster. So there's a Viking guy. There he is again. Here he is again. So are these guys like plants? We're not sure yet, right? But obviously something's going on here with this person. He's all over the place. So who is this source alluded to by the Washington Times that accused facial recognition company XR Vision of identifying Antifa in the Capitol? And how come they never published the alleged images given to them by the retired military officer? The left is going after anyone and any entity that is effective in pointing out their lies. This is why they go after us in XR Vision. We contacted the Washington Times this morning. So, I don't know, was there pressure on this company? We have the pictures here. And there was another thing I noticed. This kid, right, he's got an ID badge on. Some kind of ID. And I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's just to get into the protest that he was given. I don't know. But I was wondering what that was. So now we know that possibly these three people are connected on the left here, right? They might be part of a group. He may be an actor. I'm not sure yet. Is this guy being paid to do this? And this is Jake, how he looks without his horns. So apparently he's a voiceover artist, singer, and an actor, right? So hey, if I'm an actor. That's that. Trump says there'll be an orderly transition on January 20th, breaking. President Trump issues statement responding to electoral certification. He's issued a statement. He did not concede. The statement reads as follows, quote, even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I've always said we would continue our fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again. Okay, so see how that plays out. This was the other thing stood out. Breaking: Zuckerberg bans President Trump from using Facebook indefinitely now, apparently. So they're cutting off the president's ways that he can communicate, right? Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg announced on Thursday that Facebook has banned President Trump from its services indefinitely. Facebook on Thursday blocked President Trump from its social networking platform for at least 2 weeks. That's funny. He only has 2 weeks left in office, right? Just one day after a mob of MAGA supporters violently stormed the Capitol as Congress met to confirm Joe Biden's victory. In a statement, founder Mark Zuckerberg said that after the events of the last 24 hours, the tech giant believes the president, quote, intends to use his remaining time in office to undermine the peaceful and lawful transition of power to his elected successor, Joe Biden. As a result, the company is blocking his accounts on Facebook and Instagram indefinitely, and for at least the next 2 weeks until the peaceful transition of power is complete. Wow. In an online statement, Facebook shared, the shocking events of the last 24 hours clearly demonstrate that President Trump intends to use his remaining time in office to undermine the peaceful and lawful transition of power. Wow, so there you go, guys. They're cutting off his communication, right? He's now going to be down, it looks like, on Instagram possibly and Facebook for the last 2 weeks of his term in office, right, that he has left. Not making headlines, Trump supporters pulled violent protesters away from the Capitol building when they started damaging it. Who are these people? So you're starting to see, right? And why were these people all allowed to just like get so close like this, right? Why was the security not adequate enough that they could keep this back a little bit ways so that such large groups couldn't get so close, right? And I'm going to get into that later in the video where maybe some of them were allowed to walk in. Trump supporters at the Capitol yesterday's event in D.C. told people to stop damaging property. For some reason, big media doesn't want to report this. Yesterday, after the president spoke in Washington, the million or so followers of the president marched to the Capitol. This is when some individuals in the crowd started damaging the Capitol building. When this occurred, the Trump supporters in the crowd started yelling at them and telling them to stop. Former New York City police chief noted this in a tweet. President real Donald Trump supporters pulling Antifa terrorists away from building. There's plenty of these videos. Why isn't the mainstream reporting? We probably covered this before. Let's just see if it's the same one from that lady. I think it's a young lady's video. Yeah, Emma Wright. And here's maybe a closer view. See if you can see it. He grabs him right there, see? Let's play it again. Guy starts banging on the glass. He's got a Trump sticker on the back of his head. There he goes. And people start grabbing him. See? Who's this guy on the riot helmet here? These dudes. And this guy. These people. Alright? Alright. So, we saw it 3 times. See a Trump supporter grabbing that guy and trying to pull him down, right? So, that's that. Twitter has locked President Trump's for 12 hours. Now it seems longer, right? What else did I see in Zero Hedge? Yeah, more about these people. Questions about the chaos at the Capitol that desperately need to be answered by Tyler Durden. Like most Americans, I was absolutely horrified by the violence that I watched at the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday, but I had a difficult time trying to understand what I was witnessing. Trump supporters are almost always extremely peaceful, but many of those that were storming the Capitol were being very violent. That didn't make sense to me. Me either. And how in the world did protesters get into the U.S. Capitol in the first place? Well, it turns out that the police actually opened up the barricades that were surrounding the U.S. Capitol and purposely allowed protesters to storm the building. You could see this on video right here. I got it teed up somewhere. I think it's here. Yeah, police opened up the gates and let them right in.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, they just let them come in. I don't know why they did that. Were they given an order?
And they just breached the Capitol. again. Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again.
And you only have like 3 or 4 or 5 cops, it looked like, at that particular like spot where, so, I mean, there it is, right? Police opened gates and offered them in. Still Vigilant Grandma. That's a cool name. So that's that. It looks like the police, and now somebody's going to have to go back in the chain of command and say, why was that order given, right? Why wasn't backup ordered to that location? If you had a problem and you only had 4 or 5 police officers to deal with that location and you were feeling like you might be overwhelmed, then why wasn't backup called in, right? Why'd you allow them to walk right through when you have senators and the vice president inside the Capitol building, right? Why was that allowed? Who gave that order? Zuckerberg's decision to silence Trump is the turning point in the battle for control of digital speech. You check this out, right? They're cutting off the levels of communication, right? If I can't communicate with the masses anymore, what do? How do I communicate with my constituents and my supporters if I'm being cut off of some of the largest social media sites that the world has ever seen, right? So maybe go check his Parler, maybe go check if he's on other sites, right? See what other platforms he's still up on. Schumer calls for Trump to be removed from office immediately now. They want him to be removed right away. They don't want to give him the last 2 weeks for some reason, right? They want him out now. So that's this article you could read. Chuck Schumer's Senate Majority Leader after the Dems' victory in the Georgia runoffs. Yeah, they won both the Georgia runoff elections. Those look like the Republicans were ahead again late, and I saw Loeffler up by like 2 or 3%. I think it was 51-48. One of them was up late in that one, and of course it got turned around again, less than 1% difference. I think both races are under 1% difference. In a statement, Schumer said VP Mike Pence should invoke the Constitution's 25th Amendment. I don't see how Mike Pence can do that. By the way, I think Trump has made it so that VP Mike Pence's chief of staff is now no longer allowed on the White House grounds. I saw something in Gateway Pundit about that. Just real quick, a couple of other stories that just popped out. Manhattan office vacancies hit record high as work at home dominates. So as you can see, right, it's clearing out. We got a 15% vacancy rate, it looks like, up from 11. That's huge. That's huge. Never seen that. Very, very rare. More than 68 million square feet of office space lays dormant in the borough. Yeah, I mean, if everything's shut down, why would you try to make a business here right now, right? It's not easy to open up. It's not even easy to open up a small deli or something like a little store like that. It takes a lot of work and a lot of money, right? Got to put a lot of capital into it. Norwegian nursing home patients dead after receiving first dose of Pfizer COVID vaccine. You can check this out by Tyler Durden. More suspicious deaths have surfaced in Europe involving patients who recently received their first dose of the coronavirus vaccine, following reports about a Portuguese nurse dying shortly after receiving her first dose. Our attention turns to Norway, where 2 nursing home residents have passed away under similar circumstances. So you can check that out. That'll probably get me a strike on YouTube, but I don't care anymore. If you don't see me on YouTube anymore, then look for me on YouTube and Rumble. I'll be there, all right? I'll be there until this thing is over with, and then I'm hopefully gonna get back to some normal life if there is one left, right? There's one more thing. White House pulls Chad Wolf's nomination after acting DHS head says Trump should condemn violence. Well, he did condemn the violence. And then, of course, Twitter pulled down his tweet, so then people are coming out saying he should make a statement. Well, he can't. The only statement he can make is a public one. And if he can't put it on his Twitter because he took his Twitter down, right? And his other stuff down. So, this was it. D.C. Mayor Bowser orders 15-day emergency declaration in nation's capital. That's a big deal, right? I think I pulled that up twice. After overnight lockdown. So now there's like a 15-day lockdown, it looks like. There's one of the protesters inside. Looks like he's dropping down. He doesn't have any Trump gear on that I see. Not that that matters, but this guy's in all black, right? D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has issued a 15-day public emergency order for the nation's capital following the deadly protests Wednesday in which demonstrators breached the U.S. Capitol. The order gives authority to city officials to close down businesses early and order people off the streets should a curfew be implemented. The order will last through the afternoon of January 21st. Isn't that interesting? That ends right after the new president's sworn in, huh? That's funny. Wonder how that came about. And why would someone plant a pipe bomb by the RNC headquarters? That was what Dave on X22 was talking about too. So, all right, guys, I don't want to make too long a video. I got all these articles for you. That's a lot of info. Starting to appear to me that some outside agitators came into the scene, and Trump had warned them, right? Dave was talking about that on X22 also, that he warned the people from Antifa before, right? Don't come to D.C. You've been warned. We're watching you. So let's see how it plays out. If you're being watched, then these guys were walking through the Capitol, no mask on, right? Just taking pictures, showing everybody that they're right there. So, well, now you showed yourself. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see how it all plays out. It's a fluid situation, and there's a lot more that we don't know than we know, right? So when you're in that situation where there's more than you don't know than you know, then you lay back and you see where the information leads you, right? And you follow the factual information that you can confirm at the time. That's how I try to operate. I follow the information where it leads me. I don't try to make the information lead to a certain place. I let the information take me where it's going to go. So with that, friends, I wish you peace and love. Try to keep on top of the situation as best we can. And I wish you have a great day. This is Ash, WAT News, signing off for now.